Now, the way I would like to start this lesson is to ask you a question. What are you saying in this our slide that is on the screen? What are you saying? Does anybody understand what it's looking at? Or not totally? Or not really? If any one of you understand what you are looking at, you could raise up your hand, we'll give you the microphone, and you will tell me what you are saying. Okay, Alan wants to start.
What you're saying is your
You might need to stand, Daniel.
Yeah, sure. What you're saying is your long-term plan, but you're breaking that down into, whether it's daily,
Daniel. Okay.
monthly, weekly, 6 monthly, long-term. So your plan is broken down on a daily basis, but the long-term plan, if you do the little things, the daily things, day by day, chip away, you eventually hit your long-term goal.
Very close. Very, very close. Very close. Okay. You get the whole idea, but I need a better answer still.
Okay.
Anybody wants to try? Okay, Pastor Chris wants to. Oh, Madam, we want to try. Adela. Okay, let's see you.
Just from the topic of the discussion, it's a draw out system.
Oh.
Organized.
Well, so that pyramid you are seeing there, that represents a structure or a system. Behind this is a system, but that is a structure right there. That is talking about organized system, organized structure, right? But Alan is telling us what that structure is going to give us. And he got it right too. Any other person want to say anything? So I'm getting different bits from you people. I don't expect any one of you to get what I expect. I mean, the full answer as I expected, but at least you are trying.
Yeah. I wanted to say, that what I see is a structure, but at the base of that structure is the foundation, which is values,
okay,
which will give like a pointer to what your purpose is. And once you have an idea of what your purpose is, then you start making plans towards achieving it, but you now start breaking those plans into your long-term, short-term, and daily goals.
Beautiful. Okay, I see that you are making good attempts. So what I'm now going to ask you to do is to try to separate. Look at these two things. I mean, you see there is a pyramid, and then besides the pyramid, there is an explanation. That is the explanation right there, beside that pyramid, the words that are written, the text. Now, but the explanation is not quite the way the pyramid is. It's in reverse. Yeah. So the explanation starts from the bottom of the pyramid. And that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so will you now read to us what you are saying? Oh, you want to say something?
No, I want to read what I see.
Okay.
I think basically it begins from you knowing your calling.
Okay.
And then you move to purpose.
Okay.
And then from purpose you have a general plan.
No. You are getting it, yeah. But keep on going. Let me confuse you.
Okay, so you begin with your life purpose.
Yes.
And then once you have figured out your purpose, then you now begin to have a plan to fulfill the purpose.
Okay.
And then
I want to see how you will finish it.
Then you begin to have goals. You begin to set goals.
Okay.
Either short-term goals and long-term goals.
Okay. All right.
And but also it begins by you planning out every single day.
It begins or it ends?
It ends. Sorry. It ends by you planning out every single day.
Beautiful. Okay. Very similar to what Alan said. All right, so let's start. Let's start reading. Just reading. This is not explanation yet, but just reading of what is available there. Before we continue, I want to ask Tope a question. You came a bit late, but you were on time enough to get into this subject. So what did you get so far? Because for me, you are my test. You are my past test for myself. I'm looking at you as somebody who is coming from Nigeria, and if I'm able to help you, I will be able to help most people in Nigeria. That's what I think, because you understand Nigerian mentality. Yeah, because you are the freshest from there. So because that's where I'm going to. So that's why I'm always paying attention to you. Because if I'm not able to convince you, I'm not going to be able to convince people in Nigeria. So what did you get? Not just from this one now, but from the time you came.
Okay, thank you for the teaching, and I want to say hello to everyone.
Move a bit this way. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. No, back.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Since I came in, I've been listening, and I understand that the world is full of biomasses, like you always call them in your writings, and that a lot of people don't take time to plan.
The world is full of, but do you think we have even more? We have more challenge with that in Nigeria, or we are going to have more challenge?
Yes, definitely, because life is at the subsistence level, so to
Back at home.
back at home, because people cannot afford the basic things of life.
Even internet is not readily
Internet, power supply, there is regular power outage. I mean, I've been in this country for a while now, and there was never a time
Never.
they
I've
had
been
power
here for
outage.
30 years. Never a power outage.
So when people are still trying to survive, when they're still trying to have a life, they can't think of to what end the life should be put to what use the life should be put to, because they are just trying to keep the life. So it's hard to see.
survive.
It's hard to see
They
the
are
higher
trying to
purpose.
survive.
They are trying to survive. So it's hard to see what is
Higher purpose.
beyond the life itself when you're just trying to have the life. So this is very helpful, because a lot of us back home, we are very spontaneous. We are the spontaneity,
Spontaneity.
excuse me, yes, thank you. It's as a result of the rush of life. Everybody's just trying to, make it happen right now, because there are no structures in place to ensure that people take time to plan, to be ready. And this is the situation. So from the things you've explained, I understand that the people who take more time to put structures in place, to plan, to prepare, they are the ones who are really in charge. And every other person involved, yes, they are like they are serving, they're like the lab rats. So to be really outstanding, to stand out of the crowd, you need to take time out and reevaluate your life and put structures and plans in place that can help you get things right. So it is not enough to just, like I wanted to say yesterday, but I didn't take time to put my thoughts together. I just came out and I ended up saying the things that,
And your emotions. Yeah.
because I got a little bit emotional, and I just wanted to, if I had taken more time to structure out my thoughts at that time, I'm sure I could have been able to communicate my heart desire. So,
Okay, for example, today, I don't know if you came on time to hear me say that even in our own eyes, or in Nigerians' eyes, parties like PDP, APC, as horrible as we might think they are, that they are still better in some things than even our new generation aspirants. political aspirants and presidential aspirants. And I was using this as my reference point.
Yes.
So if I make that kind of point in Nigeria, that because those people, even though they might say they are bad there, but they took the time to form a structure, to create a system, and that is making them to be superior, no matter how good intent these other people might be, that these people still have superiority, and they are going to be in control. Because the 3% that built system, they employed, they create the life, they create the system that all other people live in. Even though in that 84% and in 13%, there might be good people there. There might be people who are well intended there. But the world they live in will still be created by the people who know how to create system. So when I say those PDP, APC people, that they are still superior and they are better than this new aspirant, if I say that to a Nigerian or to you, what, would they just think that I'm just being silly or I'm being philosophical, or what would they say?
Well, I want to excuse myself. I want to dabble into politics, but I just want to address what you're talking about. For me, I don't have the information you have right now, so you know better right now, and maybe your judgment is right or wrong. I can't tell. I don't have this information, but what I can say is that as a Nigerian that I am,
Yeah, and that's the typical Nigerian response at home too, not
Yes.
just you.
I am baffled you've made this assertion. And that is because APC didn't start overnight. And PDP, they've been there for a number of years. So if they were never given the opportunity, it was with time they were able to put the systems and the structures in place. So if the younger generation won't be given the time and the support to invest their time to build the structure and put the things in place, then it would be rather unfair to say that they don't have the structure already. I don't know that, of course you know better, but this is my perception, that if they are given time to put things in place, of course they could outdo and outperform the current major players in the political arena of the nation.
The question I will have in that sense is that the APC, before the 2015 election, how long did it exist before the election? APC.
Well, like I said, I don't want to go into politics. You know better. I wish I was vast in this.
They were not there for a long time, like you are saying. They were not. They were okay. You want to answer? Okay.
Okay.
So, should I just answer that question?
First of all, start with
Okay.
that, then you can.
So they came in early, I think that was late 2013. Then they were even delayed because the government was trying to stop it. So eventually by 2014, they were set. And
So-
they were not just new guys. It was a merger of already existing parties. So nobody just busted into the scene. For instance, ACN, as it was then, was controlling the Southwest.
So what you are saying is, ne puska bude ni nenda troga, but onja one previous at pan ponos to pasayana troga. Luce I troga, shoba ni nazad ni troga. Yeah, just a bit backward. Yeah. So, but very good. But what he was trying to say is that they have been there. They were given opportunity to create system and something. No, it is a game of compromises. They were all there doing their own thing. But the ability to be able to submit and subjugate and create one structure is not a main thing, no. And it's not about being there for longer now. But are they able to come together and create a structure? And they only did that with less than 15 months to the election. About 15 months to the election, they did it. these people also had more than 15 months of the election. And all these people who are contesting at Showore or something. When did they think about it? They should have been thinking about it at least 5 years before now, or 2 years at least before now, 3 years before. They also had the time. But it's the wisdom that is needful for them to be able to know that system is superior to passion. But now you can make your point.
Yes, sir.
No, you wanted to say other things. So say
other things. Yeah. No, power will never be given. So no matter how passionate you are, we must study why someone like Awolowo never became president. You have to study why Ojukwu never won an election in the East. You have to study why Fela, with all of his, he's so loved, formed a party. His party did not even win local government election.
You have to study
Gani Fawehinmi.
Yeah.
You have to study why different people who are even well more known, even with more intent. This guy is often clowned.
Even when
Fresh Party
also started the party.
Chris Okotie, sir, is often clowned in Nigeria. But when you listen to that guy, he has even more articulated plans than Showore. But why is it that he never goes anywhere? So if you go to Sena climbs, or as we like to call it, when they talk about two evils, APC, PDP, you can't take them away. It's just like saying in America you want to get rid of a Democratic Party and Republican Party. It's impossible. Many more generations will grow into them. It's like going to the UK and say you want to get rid of the Tories and the Labour. Does it mean that they are perfect? No. People will wishfully want to get rid of the existing order. But because of the structure that is on ground, it's impossible. So the same thing with APC, PDP. So in 1997, when Abacha wanted to contest for president, that was 96, 97, when he wanted to contest for president, there was a party then called UNCP. By the time UNCP, when they were done with the election, UNCP had won 70% of the Senate seat. Everybody was decamping. It didn't matter who did not want Abacha to win. He had the structure. So, and because politics is not a game of the saints, like Pastor says, it's a game of compromise. It's a game of tactics. You have to know what works for you, what doesn't work. Why is it that Buhari, with all of his clout, even though people have said he won for a long time, but why was it that nobody could fight for him that he won?
And he couldn't win officially.
Yeah, officially. Why was it I couldn't win officially? If you can I go on, sir?
Yeah.
If you study the electoral vote of Nigeria, of course we will consider factors like voter apathy, right? But what happened if you look at the voting structure? You see that by 2015, Nigeria's population has increased dramatically, but the voting gap reduced by 10 million votes. And if you study from 2011, 2007, 2003, you'll be seeing that constant 10 million votes. So by the time PVC came in, it went down. But the question is, why was it that even though he won all those times, even though it was known, US knew, the United States, former United ambassador said it during an interview, but nobody could fight for him because he had not built the necessary infrastructure. Nobody will fight for him in the West. So it would just have been a parochial interest. It would just have been seen as hegemony. So politics, as it were, like Pastor is saying, and that is the beautiful thing that people don't want to realize, it's not wishful thinking. You can't go to Sokoto where nobody knows you and expect that you are going to defeat even the incumbent.
The governor there.
Go to South Africa. Of course, I would admit that South Africa's structure is parliamentarian. But you study someone like Julius Malema. See how he's building his party. People want to talk about Macron, but you don't know that Macron resigned from a party. He was former finance minister in France. He resigned from the main party and then started his own.
The people of that main party followed him.
Yes, people followed him. He had the right connections. You want to talk of Trump? Trump had no political experience. Go back to 1999. You will see that he formed an a committee to see.
He had built structures for 30 years.
For 30 years, financing a lot of politicians. So by the time he came, he could only ask them for a favor. So by the time you look at it now, he hijacked the political structure of the Republicans.
That was already existing.
So that's why Pastor is saying that once you bring superior value system, there is no platform that is not hijackable. So, but politics where you just wish you good people win, oh, it doesn't work that way. If it works, Patutomi would have been president. If it works, Ganifa Yomi would have been president. If it works, Fela Anikulapo could have been something. Awolowo is called the best president Nigeria never had. The question is why. So, but people have more sentiment than reason, and I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you said he wants to become the president, so I'm not surprised.
So he has an alibi.
Yeah. So,
I think Adiola wanted to say something.
okay.
He never wants to be, so he can't always.
But, Pastor, honestly, I know
go
you.
backward, go back.
Okay. I
So
know
that we can see you in the camera where you were standing before.
Okay.
A bit further. Yeah. A bit more
All right.
further. Back.
Okay.
Yeah, like yeah, it's good.
So, Pastor, I know that you might still have problems with my perception.
You know,
and
just
with my
yours.
worldview.
I'm seeing I'm learning from you, because I'm going to be able to, I'm going to face not just you alone when I go to Nigeria. I'm going to have millions of people who think like you. You think you are the only one thinking like that? Most people in Nigeria are like that. So I've got to develop my own skills of communication and of convincing and of trying to turn the table to really be able to convince them and be able to present to them my argument so that in a way that they could receive it. So I'm learning. So I'm training by you. You are training me.
No. What I want to say is that because now it's like you are very sure that this younger contestants can never win the election.
Yeah, so this time they will not.
So what happens if they do?
They will not. Miracles don't happen. That's why I wrote that book, What Miracles Will Not Do For You. Miracles only happen. Let me explain miracles for you. Miracles only happen after man has exhausted his possibilities. But they have not exhausted even 10% of possibilities they could exhaust. So they have not done their best. Only if they have done their best, they have put the system in place. Anything humanly possible must have been done by them, including all the laws that God has put in place, the structure, system, everything. So if they put that in place, then miracle could happen. Now, of course, because God is sovereign, God could just decide to do anything he wants sometimes, but he will not, because that will make him to break a lot of laws. I'm not even talking about the young people. Those ones don't even have a chance. Even God will not do it. There are some there are some things that God will not do. But the ones that stand a chance of upsetting will be PDP. But I'm even so certain of what is going to happen that in my Elijah challenge, I included the PDP there that he will lose. Atiku will lose. That Buhari will still win. I stuck my neck out there, because I know what I know. So, but to even talk about the new generation people, even when they come together, let's even say they succeed in coming together, they will still lose. Because 75% cannot be missing and there will be miracle. Miracle can only, for example, let's say you want to run 100 meters dash and you are running it for 9 seconds something. But you cannot be running it, okay, and there are 4 or 5 people who are running it for 9 seconds, 1945, 1935, 19 something, but all of you are under 9 seconds. Then miracle can still happen in that one. But if you are running it and you are the only one in the team, and you are running 11 seconds, and all others are running 9 seconds, and you were looking for a miracle to happen, it will still happen. If you are 9 something, miracle can still happen. But when you are running 11 seconds, and these other guys are clocking 9 seconds, miracle will happen, but for one of them. So, I just want to explain to you the nature of miracles. No, I know that people like our people in Nigeria, they believe in miracle. God can do everything, they say. So that's why you asked me that question. What will I do if the miracle happens anyway and one of these young people win? I tell you, God will not do that miracle. Even if he's going to do that miracle, he's going to do it for the ones who have done their best, who have exhausted all humanly possible means. If God does that, it will be violating, because it will create okay, let me give you I have a message that I preached. Please go, everybody go and look for that message. It's called The Reasons for Your Limitation. Or the reason, is it the reason? The reason for your limitation on YouTube. I think it's audio. Message. So, but it's on there on my YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official. When you go to listen to that, you will see why Jesus, when God said, it was in the Old Testament, when God was taking the people of Israel from Egypt and from the wilderness to begin to give them the land of promise, God said something. He said, I will not give you the whole land of promise at once. He said, I will only give you little by little. Even God himself gave them the dream to go and conquer the land of promise. God did that. It was God's dream for them to do that. It was God's vision. God did all the miracles possible for them to get to that place. But then they got to the place finished. God said, I cannot help it. Even me, God, I cannot give you everything at once. Because if I clear the land, the old land of promise, the old land of Canaan, if I clear it of all the enemies because there were people living there already. If I get rid of all of them and I make you to inherit it, he said, wild animals will devour you. You are too weak. So you will not be able to control the whole trajectory of the land. The territory is too much for you. You are not strong enough to occupy everywhere. The wild beasts that are there themselves, if the other people who are keeping them off, if they are removed and you are alone, they will just come and you become food for lions, and they will just come and devour all of you. You will not be able to stand. But I will give the land to you, the territory to you, little by little, depending on your strength, how much strength you have built. And by that strength, you will be able to explore the land and expand. That's why God didn't say, when God blessed man, he said, be fruitful, multiply, then subdue the earth. You cannot subdue the earth just from being fruitful. He didn't just say, okay, come, be fruitful and subdue the earth. It's not possible. God will be breaking too many laws. They needed to multiply, they needed to increase, then to multiply, and to have dominion, and then to subdue the earth. Too many steps to jump. So it would be like saying, I'm giving you this whole land, but you don't have means to hold the land, the territory. Either other nations will come and win and conquer you again and subject you, or the animals will come and devour you. So it's the same thing politically. If God will allow any of these young people who don't have structures to win, they will be repeating the mistake of Patrice Lumumba in Congo, when he won as the prime minister, but he didn't win the parliament. He didn't win the structure. He didn't have structures in place. So other people just arranged. They got rid of him as the prime minister alone. They arrested him, killed him like a cat or like dog in the street of the country, because he didn't have the strength to hold on to the power. He had the power, but no strength. He was not controlling the army. He was not controlling the military. He was not controlling the opposition. He was not controlling the parliament. He didn't have infrastructure. Nobody could fight for him. So if God will do a miracle now for Sowore to win, he knows that there are jackals, there are lions, there are bears politically. They will shock him. They will shock him. They will get rid of him immediately. The next day they will vote for impeachment. They will damage the country. They will just. God is not stupid. God is not foolish. God doesn't do that kind of miracle. But how I'm going to explain this to my people, I don't know. But I can only do my best to try to explain. But I know God enough. Believe me. He will not give the land. Go and listen to that message. He will not give you the land all of a sudden, just at once, to subdue, just because you are the best. It goes beyond that. You've got to build strength. You've got to be able to occupy. You've got to be able to. So that's why that miracle will not happen. No. You said, what if it happens? It won't happen. Sorry, mommy wants to speak.
Okay. Thank you.
I said unless if he wants to punish Nigeria.
Unless if you want to punish the country or destroy the country.
Okay, thank you.
But God doesn't destroy what he creates. Yeah. You want to say something? No. Okay. Mario, I want to say something there? No? Okay. You keep your thoughts to yourself. I know a lot of people will still not agree with me, and that's why I appreciate Talkback, because that's exactly the attitude I'm going to meet on ground. People are still going to say, but God is God. Why should you say it will not happen? God is God. Are you God? They're already saying it. They say this guy is too proud. How can he say God cannot do something? Those are the things they are saying.
It's so true, because I know a lot of my people who have attacked me and said, why is your mentor supporting APC? Why? Why? You know, hasn't he seen what Buhari is doing, how people are dying? They have been attacking me. I said, for this man to say this, he knows something. He knows something, and we need to go search. Let's not just move by emotion.
You see, that's what is surprising me. Why can't they assume that maybe this guy knows something?
Yeah.
At least maybe maybe I don't even know, but maybe for him to be so adamant, maybe he knows something though. Especially if they know that I'm not so stupid though. I'm not as stupid as I look. And for people not to even give me that benefit of a doubt, I'm bewildered.
Especially with what happened the last time.
Last time too. In 2015, they also said he was not going to win. And they were also prophesying the opposite. And I was the only one who was right. Not the only one, but out of the famous guys who were pastors, I was one of the few people who was adamant that no, this is the best guy. And I was right already. And you were wrong already. If anybody deserves a benefit of a doubt, I deserve it. But our people they are like goats. They are like, goats, when you say don't go there, that's where we'll be going. So they just keep on choosing their own ways. They go their own ways. No, I don't use goat to insult, right? But I'm just describing the character. So you are saying, go, this is the way to go. Go there. You go form back. He's doing his own. Just stop on for nothing. Well, you don't have arguments for it. Well,
because I'm surprised, it's just so simple. A simple logic. PDP and APC control the parliament, the system, and you are just coming in. Even if you win, who is going to support you? They will kick you out immediately. So that miracle will not happen. It's so simple. It's so simple. It won't happen. No.
No House of Rep candidate.
No governor.
No governorship candidate.
And
You
you're
want
just
to be
going to
president.
win the masses. You're going to rule the people.
No judges, no high court judge, no Supreme Court judge. They don't think. They just believe in the passion. They are following just by, I will believe. Passion, emotion. Okay. But I'm glad, I asked Tokwe that question, because I know exactly what people are thinking. And what I like about Tokwe is this. Most people will not do what he is doing because they don't want to be on the spotlight. And they will always just play to the gallery. They will just change their position like that. But he has the integrity to defend his position. And that's what I like. So I always trust his judgment, because his judgment is always the judgment of people who I read about in the internet. He's always right. They are always majority. They're always right. Everybody is just condemning me, attacking me. I'm always the only one standing there. And some few people, one or two, coming to comment. But they just, most people will come and condemn us. Okay, good. Okay, so let's go back to our class. So the thing I'm presenting to you right now is the formula to organize your life around your goals. So you remember that our topic is how to organize your life around your goals so that you touch. So the formula is what we are talking about right now, the concept. So this concept here is very similar to the concept that was given to the world by Benjamin Franklin. He's one of the first people to know, and he said this is his greatest discovery in life, that life could be organized. Benjamin Franklin, he was an inventor, he was a writer, he was a diplomat, he was a politician, he was a journalist, he was a scientist, he attained so much, he was a millionaire. I mean, he did so much. I mean, he's the one that is in the $100 bill, and he's the only one that is the father of the nation that was not the president, and was, yes, and he's the one that has the most influence, and he's the one that has the. That's why they put him in the biggest dollar notes that is available, because he had more influence than all the presidents, and he was a president. No, he was never a president. Most people would think that he was a president, but he was never, because he was the one that's most famous. So, but he was a great man, and he said out of all these things that he did, there were two plans that he came up with: this time planning system and plan of value system, to live by values. So those are the things that are the greatest things in his life. So now, so what are we saying? What am I showing you right now? So this formula, to plan your life goals, is like a pyramid. You see that pyramid? At the bottom of it, or the foundation of your life, is what we call the life mission, or the main values of life. That is not that is not goal, that is not purpose yet, but is the values, your main life values, or your main life vision. So what is this about? This life vision, that is the bottom. That's supposed to be the foundation of your life. So in what do you call it? In basic language, or what do you call the common language, yeah? In common language, in general terms, what that is talking about is, what were you sent to the world for? If I want to use language, common language, like, what were you sent to the world for? That is what it means, what the main value of life means. That foundation. Everybody must be able to stop at one point and say that this is what I'm most passionate about. What am I alive for? You must be able to answer that question. What was I packaged for from heaven? Why was I given life? Why do I exist? But this is a very cunning one, or is it cunning? A very, yeah, it's a very subtle question. It's a very tricky thing. Yeah, very tricky. This is a very tricky one, because if you don't have superior, or if you don't have fundamental relationship with God, to be able to know that your life mission and purpose had already been designed before you were born, and that God is the one who sent you here for something. If you don't have that understanding, you will just sit down and say, okay, so my main life values, or the main thing what I'm alive for, is to procreate. We do call it procreate? Yeah, to give birth to children. And that is the way the whole life life around us has been built by most people. Most people don't know anything better, because we have instinct to recreate, survival instinct, the instinct to recreate, reproduction instinct. We want to have children. So most people in life just think that must be the main reason why I exist. But that is too silly. That is too animalistic. That is too, no, that is too mundane. It's too mundane. It's too trivial to be the purpose for which you exist. So everybody should just become and be giving birth. What about children? What about kids? What about those who don't marry? What about, I mean, if you talk about giving birth as your purpose, it means you have reduced yourself to a biological reality only, physical reality as biology. But a man is bigger than biology. A man is bigger and superior to body. And giving birth, getting pregnant, that is all operation of the body, of biology. But you are more important and significant than the biology. Your mind, your soul is stronger and more insignificant, is superior to the biological reality of your body and your sexuality. And your spirit man and your spirit reality, your spirit man existence is also superior to biological expression that you have. So that is the least thing you have out of all the things you possess. The ability to do something with your physical body, especially to procreate, is the least. That is the level of animals. That's why dogs procreate, and they even do better than you do, because they could have at one time 6 children, 12 children, 20 children. So you cannot compete even with animals. So that if that had been your purpose, you would have been able to do better than any animal in procreation. But pigs do better than you. Dogs do better than you. So if you want to just assess your life as the ability to be as just by giving birth and just by physical manifestation like that, you have brought yourself from the level of God, who is a spirit. And that's who he made you to be. You are supposed to be spirit like him. You have brought yourself from that level to the level of animals who don't possess what you possess. And then if you make yourself, and not just from the level of God you brought yourself, but you also brought yourself from the level of Homo sapiens, thinking man, to reduce yourself to the level of animal who don't think, who don't have that rationality. So the rationality of man, the Homo sapiens nature of yourself, that's your mind, your intellectual level, is superior to anything your body could do. Then your spirit is even more superior to that. That is why when you die, that's your body, they get rid of it. Some people throw it, use dust, it goes back to the dust. Some people throw it into you bury it or you burn it. It's irrelevant. It's the least you have. It's the only thing that doesn't go to heaven with you. Your mind, your memory, your soul goes to heaven with you. Your spirit goes to heaven with you. Those are the things you should live for, because those are the only things that are eternal. But the thing, if you reduce yourself to procreation, you reduce yourself to the level, to the earth level, to the soil level, to the dust level, that will remain here. So for those people who are, no, this is not just procreation. This is job. This is work. This is money. They all belong to that category of the earth. They are earthly things that remain on the earth. That's what Jesus was saying, that gather your treasure in somewhere that is higher. Live for something higher than what to eat or what to drink. Jesus said, don't even worry about all those things, what to drink, what to eat. They belong to the level of the body, to the dust level. Don't worry about it. He said, don't even worry about it. There are things that are much higher than that. So, but people, if you are not informed, you will wake up in the morning, you will discover that everybody is marrying, and you will think that's your purpose. You wake up in the morning, everybody's going to school, university, and getting a good job, and you will just think that is your purpose. To also wake up and join the rat race. Get a job and also trying to. You will see people looking for, I have a big car, I have a bigger car tomorrow, I have a bigger house now, you see, I dress nice. That dust level, you will now begin to compete with them and fight with them and do the same thing. That's why nobody remembers people who live like that. That's why you cannot tell me who was your great-great-grandfather 5 generations ago. You cannot even remember what he did, who was, what he looked like, because they just live. But you remember Shakespeare, who lived for something a bit higher than the dust. He lived for the intellectual level. So they were able to create stuff. That's much more higher than the level of the dust. So you will not remember your own grandfather 5 generations ago, but you remember Shakespeare, who is not even related to you. You'll be studying himself. And 5 generations ago, you don't even remember, you don't even know whose blood is running in your veins. What they just told you is just what you believe. And they thought, your grandparents that you cannot remember now, they thought they were living for their children. They will not know that a time is coming when those same children will not even remember them, talk less of who they are. So to live for children then is mundane, is a waste of time. Because those children will not remember you at all. Talk less of live for you. They don't even remember. Even the ones that are alive right now in your house, they don't live for you. Talk less of the ones who are not born yet. So you don't live for those mundane things. They are too mundane, they are too empty. So you must not say, so the main thing you are born for are those things. So it has to be something better. It has to be at least start from the level of intellectual realization, which is not the highest, but it's not bad. Because then you could become an inventor like Steve Jobs. So he discovered in his gifts intellectually, was able to realize he lived for calling. The only 2 people who will be remembered and for life and eternity are people who live for their purpose, who are able to discover their purpose and live for it, or the people who live for people, for other people who gave themselves their purpose. So here, but the main important thing to live for, the main important thing to do is to discover what God sent you here for. Your own personal. But right now, I'm going to give you the basic value of life, at least for people like myself and people who are here, people who believe in God. Even if you don't believe in God, this basic one that I'm going to give you will help you to at least have an idea of what your own mission of life is, what God created you for. Every one of us, either we know it or we don't know it, we believe in God or we don't believe in God, every one of us is supposed to glorify God by fulfilling his plan on the earth. Every one of us. That is the basic for everyone. So you might be fulfilling God's plan by becoming an inventor. You might be fulfilling God's plan for the earth and for yourself by, preaching the gospel. You might be fulfilling God's plan by some agenda of God. Because he is the one who sent you here. You came out of him. And the Bible says that by him we are created and for him. So no matter what you are created, or no matter what your eventual purpose and calling will be, because he is the one who created you, he initiated your creation. It was his initiator. He is the one who had the plan. So the bottom line, which is fundamental for every individual in the world, is that the person who created you is the one that you are created to please and to live for. Now, that living for him will be in different forms. Some are meant to build factories. Some are meant to be engineering and do engineering and build roads. Some are supposed to be inventors. Some are supposed to be, preachers. Some are supposed to be. Everybody will still find themselves, and that is the second level, global life purpose. We will still get there, but the foundation is that I'm supposed to please God. So, but if you don't have that foundation, that God created me, I'm from God, and my basic elementary calling for every human being is to please God, then you will not please God. You get it wrong from the beginning. That we go back to what Alan said. You begin to live for yourself. Oh, I'm doing well. I'm making more money. You begin to self-destruct because you already veered out of the road. You have already gone away from the direction, from the projector. You already miss it from the beginning. So you could still do a lot of great stuff, but you don't have root, foundation. So for every human being, that is the elementary basic requirement. I don't know if you're getting it. So everybody is created, because unless you are not created by God, though, and from God. But if you are created by God and from God, the basic calling, mission, purpose, values is that you are here to please God one way or the other. To fulfill God's will one way or the other. And that's what Jesus was referring to when he said, pray like this when you pray. My Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Everybody is supposed to pray like that. Oh. And then thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That is basic to every human being. Now that will might be to be a teacher, or to be a doctor, or to be a mother, or to be something, or to be, anything. But the basic, that is later on. But the basic knowledge, the basic understanding is that you are still here to do that His will, because you are from Him. He had intention for sending you here. So that then you are supposed to please Him to carry out that intention. So even if you are going to do the wrong thing, but anything you are doing wrong should still be to please Him. But if anything you are doing wrong is not even to please Him, basically, then you are self-destructing. So that's just level, the foundational level. That is the basis. That's the basis. That's the foundation of everything. I want you to reflect on that a little bit. Yes, please, can you give the microphone to my sister?
Thank you. Yes, there is this thought, like the first
big
class,
backward.
the first class we had.
Yes.
There was a mention of the 10,000 hour
Yes.
rule, and with regards to this
Yes.
stage we got to.
Yeah.
So like you just think you have a desire to do something, and you give your time to it,
Dedicate time to it.
and then you become dancing. With
You
regards
become
to
expert. You become good in it.
with regards to this, and it might not really be the main value or the essence of your maker. So how do you?
Yes, because that's why it's very good to know. Because if you just want to be good in something, and you can be good in anything, and you can be an expert, you can be excellent. But it's just like saying God called you to be a footballer and glorify His name that way, and you said, well, I will make more money being a computer engineer, and you became the best computer engineer. But when you meet God, you will not get reward for it, because you still didn't listen to Him, even though you were good and you were praised by man. It's like a student in the school that you are given an assignment in mathematics, and you went and answered the other assignment in physics, and you submitted it to the mathematics teacher. It will still fail you. Even though the work you did, you are the best. Nobody could have written it the way you wrote it. But the mathematics teacher, he didn't ask you to do physics. So that's why I said, if you want to really discover your own, but this one is for everybody. So, but at least if you are pleasing God, at least you know that your intention is clear. You are serious with you at least want to please God. But if you really want to know your own, that is the next level. We'll go to the next level. And I already told you how to find your own purpose and calling. Get that book, Who Am I? Why Am I Here? Do you have the book, Who Am I? Why Am I Here? Who am I? Why am I here? Show the book. Who am I? Why am I here? And then, once you get that book, look for the Purpose and Calling series on YouTube. Go and find a time for at least 7 days to be alone. Lock yourself up. Just, if you want, you can fast or you can eat. But just be listening. Read the book, listen to those things, answer all the questions, go through the process. By the time you come out of there, you will know exactly what you need to do. You might discover many things that you can do, but you will know the basic direction of your life. So that is main values. Now we are talking about. Now I've actually jumped into global life purpose. So if you look from the bottom, so the next level of your life, once you know that I'm here to praise God, I'm here to live for God, to glorify God. You're as an engineer, maybe as a physicist, as a teacher, or as a businessman, but you know, at least you know, I'm not living for myself. I'm not living to have children. I'm not living to have a wife or something. I'm not living for pleasure. I'm not living for success. Even though I will have success, even though I will have, but those are not the things I'm living for. I'm not living for business, even though I'm going to be a billionaire, but I'm not living for money. That billionaire is a tool. I mean, that billion is a tool for me to be able to glorify him. Even though I'm going to be educated, but that education is a tool for me to be able to please him. Even though I'm going to be a specialist in one thing or the other, but it's a tool. Everything I get then becomes a tool. Even my life is a tool to please, to glorify him. So that is the basic one, right? So now let's go, once you get that as the foundation of your life, now let's go to the next level. The next level now will be global life purpose. So what is global life purpose? Global life purpose is now your purpose. So I know that I'm alive to please God. I'm created by God. I'm going to glorify him no matter what I do. But I don't want to do no matter what I do. So I'm aware that whatever I do, I'm glorifying God, right? But I don't want to do whatever. I want to do what he wants me to do, Congo. Koro. So I don't want to just do whatever I do with glorify God. No. I don't want to go and do physics when I need to do mathematics. No. So now that is when we need what I just told you about, to go and discover yourself. But you say it is easy to discover yourself, really. But you just need observation. You need to be able to observe yourself, or you need to do self-development, self-education, or you just need to study. There are a lot of people in the world who don't know Jesus, who don't know God, who are atheists, who are living a fulfilled life because they discover themselves. In fact, there are seminars, if I saw it on YouTube one time, there are seminars that are being conducted by motivational speakers who are not even Christians, how to discover yourself, or how to find yourself, or how to find your life purpose. So even unbelievers are doing this. So how are they doing it? They are giving you skills for people to, because whatever you are called to do is already inbuilt in you. That's the key. So you could be an unbeliever and still discover, because it's already inbuilt in you. But some people will just follow their instinct and their inner heart. If you could listen to your heart, or to your instinct, or to your inner something, all that is written in this book, Who Am I? So you'll be able to discover who you are. Or if you go to and listen to my series, especially to the series on Who Am I? What's it called? Your Purpose and Calling series on YouTube. I think there are how many? 20-something videos there. If you go to listen to all that too. But even secular people sometimes could help you. But what the advantages of this book and the series is that it's coming from God's perspective, Christian perspective. But it's easy to discover who you are. Very, very easy. It is not the way religion teaches it. The way religion teaches for you to discover your calling is that they will tell you that your calling is only fivefold, or your calling is only in the church. That one, they just kill you right there. They are doing more evil than unbelievers. It's better to go and listen to unbelievers how to discover yourself than to listen to Christians. But Christians will say, for you to have a calling, then it has to be in the church, or it has to be one of the five. Then you are finished. Because out of those five, there's no engineering there. Out of that five, there's no medicine even. Some people will even resign from their calling and go and do for because we have been deceived by religion. Religion is a bad thing, though. Religion is a bad thing, though. Religion is a bad thing, though. Because people who should be responding to that kind of teaching about fivefold are the people who have already discovered their purpose as full-time ministers in the church. Because all of us are also full-time ministers, but we in our field. So it is only once you have been open, it has been open to you that you are a full-time minister in the church that you should be thinking about fivefold ministry. Otherwise, just throw it away. Don't forget you know it. It doesn't belong to you. But that is already available. Don't worry about it. That book, Who Am I, and the series on YouTube will do it for you. There's no way you can get that and do a thorough study and answer. Don't just, read though. You have to. There are very practical things there. You have to write them down. See, you might discover 5 or 10 different things you could do, but you will at least, even though you could do, like me, for example, I can be a politician. I can do politics. I understand politics. I can be a writer. I'm a writer. I'm a social crusader. I can do all kind of things. But that is those are just my tools. Those are just the instruments. Those are my abilities, my riches, but my own calling, you will see later on, is to impose God upon my generation through the preaching of the gospel of the kingdom. So that's what I do, to bring understanding of people, of God to people, about God, to bring understanding to people about God, about themselves, and about life in general. That's what I do. So it could, I could use any instrument to do that. So that now I can use, because I can use engineering to do it. I can use media to do it. I can use politics to do it. I can use money to do it. But I'm living for something greater than myself. I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man today, or whatever. There is a song. Happy man today, or something like that. There is a song like that. So I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man. I have a wife, but complimentary. I have children, complimentary. That's not my life. My children are not my life. My wife is not my life. She is busy doing her own life there. Hallelujah! I am doing my own thing here, fulfilling my own calling, and my wife is as busy doing her own thing, fulfilling her own calling. We just complementing one another. I'm not living for her, she's not living for me. My children, they are not living for me, I'm not living for them. They have their own calling. Is that not beautiful? Is that not beautiful? So people are saying, how is your wife coping with you doing all the noise and all the controversies around you? My wife is too free and she's too full of understanding. She's busy and she knows her husband is busy pleasing the master. Just like she is busy pleasing her master too. We just keep on, encouraging one another. So that second level is the level now where you have to now discover your own calling. For example, you could say, my own calling is to glorify God through engineering. Another person could say, my own calling is I like to build. I'm going to build nations. I'm going to build cities. I'm going to build houses to make the kingdom of God be reflected here on earth. Because in kingdom of God, there are mansions, there are cities, there are anything that whatever you think you're gifting, all those things you are called for, they are written in your blood system. Your skills are written in your DNA. Your skills are written in your blood system everywhere. But you just need a little bit of help to be able to study and discover it. Something happened recently to me, to my friend, to a friend of mine. This was actually very, very mind-blowing. This is an African-American brother. He's my partner, he's my friend. And You know, because being a black African American, he doesn't know where he comes from. He was born there. You know, he doesn't know where his great parents came from. And you know, when you are black American and African American people, your grandparents, they separate them. They will take the wife and throw there and send there and sell to that place. The husband will be sold to another master. The children will be sold. Then they will marry other people. It's a mess. But they have a technology now in America. They call it how to discover your ancestry. DNA something. DNA tracing. And it's very accurate. They've perfected it. It's becoming more perfected. More perfect. So, yeah, TDJ found that it will not just say you are in Nigeria, but it will find your tribe.
Yeah.
Very precise. So this my brother, he didn't know what was happening to him, but he's a Christian. No, he was a businessman in America, doing well, making money, black American, and the black Americans, they have something in them. If they become successful as black Americans, to them it's a big deal now that they are some of the people, you know, they want to live it and live big because they are some of the few people who have succeeded in making it big among their people. They want to live like the white people, live in their neighborhood, you know, that kind of lifestyle. So he was successful like that, and he was, you know, he could live big as he wanted. Then somebody, God just touched him. He got saved and got married the same day. The same day he was married was when he got saved and got baptized in the Holy Spirit and in water, and the wife too. So it's a supernatural encounter, and he just turned around his life. And he submitted his business, and he went to be mentored by another man of God for about 13 years or something like that, just to serve. So he began to listen to God. He learned to listen to God and be led by God. So, and then he started following God's instruction for his life. He went back to business. He didn't, you know, later on, after he had been mentored, so just be strong in God. Then he went back to business. And he didn't know for any reason, no, but he was transfixed to transform. His life mission was now to help transform Africa. And for some reason that are not explainable to him, he just said, Nigeria is my burden. I was born for this. But he didn't know why, and he doesn't have any. So this time he had his birthday. He had his, you know, I think he had anniversary or wedding anniversary or something. So people gave him that ancestry something test. So he just sent his, I don't know what they say, either blood and something. Yes, saliva and things. So he sent to those places. By the time the result came back, everything he was doing, because he doesn't just do Nigeria and other things, he does other things. So in all the places he has root and business and influence, all his life goals, what he's doing right now, they came out in his DNA. Ancestry something. His life purpose were written in his DNA. That is why you have to follow what is in your heart. Not what the pastors are telling you, fivefold ministry. Your DNA, what you are created for every one of us is written in your DNA. That's why when you read my book and when you listen to that my series on calling and purpose, if I say listen to yourself, ask other people questions. What do you like to do? What will you like to do? I have many questions that I ask there. You go and listen to all the series on calling and purpose. I'm helping you to look into yourself and to discover it is buried in you. There is nobody that God sends here without burying in them. So when the DNA came out and the test, everything he was doing now, we were screaming. He was screaming, we were all screaming. That, is this possible for your DNA to reveal what you are called to do and what you are already even doing? Because you could listen to God. It's good, close. He didn't even know why he was doing what he was doing. But the DNA, the Spirit of God, and the push inside him, his desires, he doesn't know why he's in Nigeria, what is happening, but everything in him, he just, when you can follow your spirit, when you can follow the leading of God, you know, it is written in you. That's why it's not rocket science to discover who you are. You just need help. That's why that book and that something, those teachings will be the key for you. They are already in you. You just need to discover it. Some people say only God can do it. Yes, you can get it directly from God if you could. But even if you cannot get to hear God, just look in yourself. You will discover that God has already buried it in you. You are packaged for something. So that's that second level. You are excited. Yeah.
That is in your DNA.
Okay. Is it?
Like,
Sorry?
It's so amazing to know that how God has made it, and how religion has complicated things,
That's complicated things.
and how if we can just return back to stop
Simplicity,
being religion, just
yeah.
be simple.
Yeah.
That we
That's
can-
why unbelievers are able to discover their calling. People like Mark Zuckerberg, they're able to discover, Steve Jobs, they're able to discover their calling. They might not even know God, they might not even believe in him, but they study themselves, they look into themselves, simplicity, because it's buried in them. If you be people like Shakespeare, all those people, they're able to discover who they are by just studying, by just being attentive, by just following the leading that God has already put in them.
And I think for me, this HMT, you are taking us on a journey to remove the mystery, to let us know that there's no mystery to life.
Yes, sir.
That life is simple.
Life is predictable.
Life is predictable. And that's what is really being, because I think religion has made us, even though we may have known that life is not a mystery, but I think religion over the years has taught us that it's a mystery. So for me,
And put you into confusion.
yes. So for me, it's like you are taking us, you're taking us and you're opening our eyes, our understanding that life is not a mystery. And you're really trying to hammer that. I feel like it's been hammered on the inside of us. That everything about us is already in us. And that we need to come to a place of simplicity. And when we can get there, we can fulfill the purpose of God for our lives and for this generation.
I want you, because I see that Dr. Anu has stood up, so I think our time is almost up, but I want to hear your reflections. What will you have to say? At least we have gone to 2 stages already. 2 out of 6, how many?
6.
Yeah, 2 out of 6 is already covered. Yeah? Remaining 4, right? So 2 stages out of 6 has been covered, but I need to know, it's even a good thing to stop on that stage so that you'll be able to reflect and really be able to sleep over it and think over it. But then from tomorrow morning, tomorrow I will be coming 2 times. I don't have court tomorrow, so hooray. So I will be coming in the afternoon and in the evening. So tomorrow I'll be able to go further with this. So, but I needed you to be alert. So when I come tomorrow, you have to be alert. You make sure you sleep well or you rest well, because for this you need concentration. Because it's going to be more complex. The more we go, it's going to be more complex. So what do you get? What are you getting from this so far?
I'm going to read something I wrote. We went out to the NGO today. Okay. And at exactly 13:29 today, the lady was speaking, but I was also receiving something in my spirit, and it's got to do with discovery of purpose. And these are the points I wrote. I said, it is an error to wait for God to reveal to me my purpose. I have to go into myself and discover what God has placed inside me from the foundation of the earth.
No, you are not serious. You wrote this earlier before tonight?
Yeah, 13:29. When I was formed, the Creator already packaged me to answer a specific question of humanity. It is my job to discover it. I have to invest time to discover what this purpose is. I believe the Creator has done his bit. I have to do my bit. I only start to live when I start living out my purpose. So Joshua, why are you waiting to start? 13:29 today.
Read it again, the last something.
I only start to live when I start living out my purpose. So Joshua, why are you waiting to start living? I have to start
waiting.
something.
You are waiting.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for God to reveal to me when I could just go into
Waiting
myself.
for God to reveal to you.
Just go into myself and discover it.
And many people are dying like that in church. Any other person want to talk? Yes, madam.
I think Brother Joshua answered some of my questions that I put down as Pastor was teaching today. I said, why is it not possible for us to be able to achieve our purpose? Could it be because we are lazy? Or people just want to cut corners? Or they don't like process, they just want results? Or people don't want to think they are biomass? Or is it that people don't have enough resources to accomplish this? You know, I was just pondering, because when you were talking about the 3%, if we are asked to take any of those three, the 84, and people will definitely choose the 3%.
Everybody want good thing.
Yeah, but why is it that we can't strive and, you know, to be able to get there? So I was just pondering in my heart, you know, all the while, that why is it difficult for us to choose that and be zealous to?
But all of the above, all those things you mentioned contribute.
So it ponders in my heart, knowing fully well now that.
Can you stand up, please?
Yes, that before I even came into the world, God has fashioned me and packaged me.
You know that's what is written in Jeremiah 1.
Yes, even before I knew, I knew
before,
I formed
before you were in your mother's womb, I
womb.
knew you.
Yes.
While you were in your mother's womb, I called you and ordained you. But some of us are still waiting for ordination now.
And that is it. We are just praying to discover our destiny, and that's what I've been doing. Praying to, oh God, I need to know, discover my destiny. But it's already inside of me.
Every one of us like that.
Yes, it's very painful. It's very painful that we are walking through the road of life and getting old, and people are dying without even knowing this truth. That is not in the hands of God.
But you wonder, what are those pastors doing at the DGO? Just keeping slaves, keeping slave camps. They would rather be telling you all kinds of stories, just for you not to leave their church, just for you to be bringing tithe and offering, they just want to keep you there until you die. They are not interested in helping you discover who you are. They are not interested in helping you discover what God created you for. They just want to keep you there for you to be many, and be bragging, I have 5 million, I have 500, I have 1,000. And those people are being slaughtered. They are being taken to the slaughterhouse. Avatar. That churches has become, is it Avatar they call them?
Abacho. Yeah.
Abator. The church has become Abator for people. Slave camps.
And if this is discovered early, even our children will not go through what we went through. Our generation will not go through, because
it's cut off.
It's cut off. We are just waiting that if we go into fasting and prayer, our calling will come. Our purpose will come. That is what we believe in. That God will drop it in your ear and you begin to live. But look at it. He has packaged it for me to just discover and please Him. In my DNA is there. And I'm even afraid to go and do DNA that I don't need it.
Somebody wants to say anything over there? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, Adelaja, give Adelaja.
I just remember when we were growing up, around 94, that was the year that I passed out from my secondary school. And all our dreams, fivefold. As in, you know, when all the messages, those years, were, you know, and that is what every young believer that is born again is dreaming of. Either you're going to become pastor, evangelist, prophet, or teacher, or, you know, those are the 5 things.
They will give you distractions, demons, or father's house, or holiness, or be perfect, or don't smoke, or don't, all kind of things. They will give you distractions to be busy. You'll be busy. You'll be thinking you are busy for God. You will not know that you are being busy to remain in the slave camp.